I don't know about you guys, but the more I hear coming out of OTAs, the more convinced I am that this season is going to be one of the most fascinating we've seen in a long time. There's a lot of excitement around this team right now, but there are also some questions that nobody can ignore, and honestly, that's what makes this so interesting. From what we've seen so far, there are reasons to be optimistic, but I also think some people are getting carried away a little too early. It's still May, and every year we see fans and media overreact to a few good throws or a few viral clips. What matters is who can handle the pressure when the lights come on. That's why I've been paying close attention to everything happening behind the scenes, because some of the biggest clues about this team's future aren't showing up on the highlight reels. And after looking at all the reports coming out of practice, I think there are a few developments that Vikings fans should be talking about a lot more. Before we get into it, make sure to hit that like button if you're excited for the season, and drop a SKOL Nation down in the comments if you believe this team has what it takes to make some serious noise this year. Something unusual happened at Vikings OTAs, and it wasn't just a highlight throw or a spectacular catch. The conversation around the Minnesota Vikings suddenly shifted from routine off-season optimism to a debate that has fans, analysts, and even parts of NFL social media discussing leadership, maturity, and the future direction of the franchise. At the center of it all stands J.J. McCarthy, a quarterback whose every move is now being examined under a microscope as the organization prepares for a crucial season. What made this story so fascinating is that the biggest headline from practice was not necessarily what happened on the field, but what happened after it. McCarthy's comments regarding the quarterback situation and Kyler Murray quickly spread across Vikings circles and beyond. While many fans appreciated the competitive fire, others viewed the responses as unnecessarily emotional. The discussion became less about arm talent and more about perception. How should a young quarterback respond when facing pressure? How should he handle questions about another established NFL quarterback? Those questions suddenly became the dominant topic surrounding the team. Yet beneath the controversy lies a much bigger story unfolding inside the Vikings facility. The football itself has been encouraging. One of the most important developments from OTAs was the presence and condition of Christian Darrisaw. For Minnesota, few players are more valuable than the star left tackle. Whenever Darrisaw has been healthy and performing at his highest level, the Vikings' offensive line has looked dramatically different. His return to full participation and his reportedly strong appearance during workouts provide a significant boost for a team that understands how critical offensive line stability will be in 2026. Observers also noticed something else. The offensive line workouts appeared noticeably more intense than in previous years. With changes to the coaching structure and a renewed emphasis on development, the Vikings seemed determined to build durability, conditioning, and continuity from the very beginning of the off-season program. That may not generate viral clips on social media, but championships are often built during these less glamorous moments. On the defensive side, there was one notable absence. Blake Cashman was not present while the rest of the projected defensive starters reportedly participated. Naturally, that sparked speculation. Cashman remains one of the most important pieces of Brian Flores' defense, and considering his level of play compared to the remaining value on his current contract, questions about a potential extension are inevitable. There is no confirmation that his absence is contract-related, but it instantly became a storyline worth monitoring as the off-season progresses. Then came one of the most exciting observations from practice. Jordan Addison once again reminded everyone why many inside the organization believe he remains one of the NFL's most underrated receivers. According to reports from the session, Addison looked outstanding. Spectacular catches, smooth route running, and the kind of effortless separation that has become his trademark were all on display. Vikings fans have seen this before. Every offseason, Addison generates buzz through his ability to make difficult plays appear routine. The challenge for opposing defenses becomes even greater when they must account for Justin Jefferson at the same time. And now, there is another intriguing piece in the equation. Jauan Jennings delivered perhaps the most memorable quote of the day when discussing his fit within Minnesota's offense. Comparing the Vikings' receiving trio to a Big Three, Jennings expressed excitement about joining a group that already includes Jefferson and Addison. More importantly, his comments reflected the confidence building inside the locker room. This is a receiver room that genuinely believes it can be the best in football. Think about the challenge facing defensive coordinators. Jefferson demands double teams. Addison can punish single coverage. Jennings brings toughness, physicality, and experience. If the quarterback position delivers consistent production, Minnesota could possess one of the most dangerous passing attacks in the NFL. Meanwhile, another storyline quietly developed in the trenches. Blake Brandel took first-team center reps, reinforcing expectations that he could be the leading candidate for the starting job. His journey has been remarkable, evolving from a late-round selection into a player trusted with increasing responsibilities along the offensive line. The Vikings clearly believe he can provide stability at a position that often determines the success of an offense. But perhaps the most intriguing personnel development involved rookie Ty Lake. No, not a flashy offensive weapon, but Tyron Ingram Dawkins. Reports indicated that he appeared slimmer and worked with the edge rushers during drills. If that transition continues, Minnesota could be exploring ways to maximize his athletic profile and create additional pass-rushing depth. It is still early, but developments like these often become major stories by the time training camp arrives. And all of this sets the stage for the most important question of the offseason. What is really happening in the Vikings quarterback room, and who is gaining momentum as the competition intensifies? That's where the story becomes even more interesting. What do you think about the McCarthy situation so far? Did he handle the media questions correctly, or would you have preferred a different approach? Share your thoughts in the comments, because the quarterback conversation is only getting started. The answer may have come from the very first OTA session, but what happened next is what truly caught the attention of people around the organization. Once the quarterbacks began taking reps, observers got their first meaningful look at how both J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray operated within Kevin O'Connell's offense, and the early reports painted a fascinating picture of a competition that may not be as simple as some fans want to believe. McCarthy reportedly received the first opportunity during 7-on-7 drills, and he wasted no time making an impression. His opening throw was exactly the type of play Vikings fans have been waiting to hear about. A deep ball down the left sideline to Jordan Addison immediately showcased the aggressiveness and confidence that made McCarthy such an intriguing prospect. It was the kind of throw that grabs attention because it demonstrates a willingness to attack vertically rather than settle for safe completions. What happened afterward was equally encouraging. McCarthy followed that throw by connecting with Josh Oliver before delivering a seam pass to Ty Felton. He completed all 4 of his initial attempts, finishing the sequence with another completion to Addison. More importantly, several of those throws generated explosive gains, exactly what Vikings coaches want to see from an offense built around elite receiving talent. The report suggested that the only real criticism involved ball placement on one specific throw. Felton was open enough that a perfectly located pass might have allowed him to continue running after the catch for an even bigger gain. Even so, the overall evaluation was positive and reinforced the idea that McCarthy continues making progress. However, there remains one detail that evaluators continue monitoring. Some observers noted that McCarthy still occasionally displays the same lower body mechanics issue that surfaced previously. When attempting to drive the football with maximum velocity, his back leg can still kick upward, something that has occasionally contributed to overthrows. The important part is that the issue is already recognized and appears to be a focus of continued development. At this stage of the off-season, improvement matters more than perfection. Then came Kyler Murray's turn. And if anyone expected a significant gap between the two quarterbacks based on this practice session, that expectation quickly disappeared. Murray reportedly completed all 4 of his passes as well. His sequence included completions to Miles Price, Bryson Nesbitt, and undrafted rookie Dylan Bell. The descriptions of those throws revealed exactly why Murray remains such an accomplished NFL quarterback. One pass arrived with excellent touch and timing. Another was described as a dart over the middle. These are the types of routine professional throws that separate experienced veterans from younger passers still learning the nuances of the position. But one throw stood above the rest. Murray connected with Jordan Addison on a deep ball down the right sideline, a play that reportedly featured excellent coverage from James Pierre. Despite the defender staying stride for stride with Addison, the ball arrived precisely where it needed to be. Addison then displayed elite receiver instincts by showing late hands before securing the catch. It was one of those moments where both the quarterback and receiver deserve equal credit, because neither could have produced the result without the other. And that is where things become extremely interesting for Vikings fans. The conversation around the quarterbacks often becomes emotional because supporters naturally choose sides. Some see McCarthy as the future and want him playing as soon as possible. Others believe Murray's experience gives Minnesota the best chance to win immediately. What these OTA observations suggest is that both quarterbacks are capable of making impressive plays, which creates a fascinating challenge for the coaching staff. At the same time, it's impossible to ignore the reality of the situation. Murray enters this battle with significantly more NFL experience. He has started games, faced playoff pressure, and navigated adversity at the highest level. McCarthy may possess tremendous upside, but upside and proven production are not always the same thing. That distinction matters when a team believes it can compete right now. The encouraging news for Minnesota is that the offense appears loaded with talent regardless of who ultimately leads it. Jefferson remains one of the best players in football. Addison continues ascending. Jennings brings another dangerous dimension to the receiving core. The offensive line appears healthier and more focused. Young players are emerging. Veterans are establishing leadership. Across the roster, there are reasons for optimism. Yet the quarterback position will continue dominating every headline because that is the nature of the NFL. Every throw will be analyzed. Every interview will be dissected. Every OTA highlight will generate excitement or concern depending on the perspective of the viewer. And as training camp approaches, the intensity surrounding this story is only going to increase. The next practices, the preseason games, and every public appearance will contribute to a larger evaluation that could shape the Vikings' season. What makes this especially compelling is that the organization appears to have assembled a roster capable of supporting high-level quarterback play. The pieces are there. The protection appears improved. The skill position talent is among the best in the league. The defense returns significant contributors. Expectations are rising. Now the question becomes whether McCarthy can accelerate his development quickly enough to challenge for a bigger role, or whether Murray's experience and steady performance will allow him to maintain control of the position heading into Week 1. That battle may ultimately define the Vikings' season. So now I want to hear from every Vikings fan watching. After everything we've learned from OTAs, who should be leading this team when the regular season begins? JT McCarthy or Kyler Murray? Drop your answer in the comments, explain your reasoning, and let other Vikings fans know where you stand. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned because the biggest developments from Vikings training camp are still ahead. SKOL!